Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at gas, seeing what's going on. This coin is taking off mainly because it was listed on multiple exchanges, specifically futures exchanges, and it's going kind of crazy here. So we're going to take a look at the big picture. This is the oldest chart I could find that I've previously evaluated, but it's been a while since I looked at this. And what we want to do is just quickly identify some previous highs and some candlestick closures, kind of just to highlight roughly where some key level supports and resistances are. That's all we're going to basically be doing to kind of get perspective here, because I get the question a lot, how do you determine, supports and resistances outside of Fibonacci retracement? And most of it's just based on, weekly, daily, or monthly candlestick closures. So just keep that in mind. We'll just go ahead and pull a few things up here, kind of just to have them on here for perspective, right? So again, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I do love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today if you do want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site link down below where I offer trade signals, academy, and community. We have a phenomenal community here. We took some healthy profits from Bake and Vet on our swing trades here just yesterday, or this morning. I was sleeping for that, as a matter of fact. I was also sleeping through majority of these Solana trades here. Look at this. We're scalping 22% at a time. Some BNB and XRP stuff in here as well, and these trading bots are making a killing here. So again, really good little upgrade there to our most recent trading bots. If you are following those, please make sure that you are manually trading those just because there's so many signals sent out throughout the day. You want to make sure that you use your own risk tolerance for that. Okay. All right. Enough about that. What we want to talk about here is what's going to happen next year with this coin. So let's just state the obvious. Massively overextended here on the RSI. Money flow index is high though. Okay. So as the volume continues to increase or just stays the same, it's all the more reason to be careful shorting this coin. Now, speaking of shorting, we do have some members that have shorted this with some serious success, right? Got in at 13.23, 18, got out at 11.8, right? So as you can see, the price has gone up since he's got out, right? So good job again, Chef. Awesome. This guy is surgical, for lack of better terms, with his trading. But I do recommend being careful shorting because, again, just because it's high doesn't mean it's going to come down, okay? It is massively overextended, but look at this volume. Look how much volume we see here, and that is maintaining itself above that moving average. Okay, so again, inevitably, once we switch, the volume gets down below this level, then we can kind of consider shorts. But between now and then, it's very risky to short a coin like this. Now, if you do look at the big picture, obviously it's getting closer to its previous high. We want to mark that down as well here. That could be a point where it comes up again. So the key takeaway here is that the monthly candlestick closure, 1575, that's the highest this coin has ever gone. Well, you got to recognize there's a ton of volatility, a ton of liquidity up on the very top there, and that could be swept. Okay, liquidity levels are commonly swept, but you just got to keep in mind those are months of liquidity that may not be all that valid, but it's still something to recognize. Okay, so we got tons of liquidity up there. We got liquidity here from before that has been filled. There's a new fair value gap, of course, that could be swept. Likelihood of that is pretty low considering the overall circumstances here. But generally speaking, there's no other way around it. This coin is massively overextended on almost all time frames. We do want to look at the 4-hour time frame, kind of see if this is a healthy continuation or not. Truth is, it's really not. It's got massive amounts of volume just jumping on in out of nowhere and then just not even letting up, right? So look at how much volume is in here in this coin. It is starting to lose its volume here, so we could very well start to see the price taper off. Because look at this, we got 3 strong 4-hour candles. And then this current candle has 2.5 hours left, roughly, and it's only like a little ways up there. So this does imply that this candle might only go up to here or here, and that really just tells us that we could very well see some selling pressure to fill this fair value gap. So there's potential to be successful on a short if you take a short with this coin right now. Again, if you're going to do so, low leverage, low position sizing. Again, this gentleman right here used low leverage. Again, to me, anything under 20x is low leverage. Make sure you keep it that way and ensure that you're not overdoing it, right? Me personally, with our swing trades, majority of all of our trades actually are just 5x leverage. We like to keep it safe, keep it tight. I've got a lot of traders trading underneath me, so I like to make sure that they're profitable and we don't use too much risk, right? My risk tolerance is very low. I hate losing money. I just like to make small amounts at a time. I'm not a 1 million in, 1 million out kind of guy. I'd much rather make that over the course of a year. Anyways, with gas, we're looking pretty good here. We're cooking with gas, but the price action is looking like it's going to taper off a little bit. Massively overextended on the RSI. Price action reflects that. We can also see that the MACD is starting to lose its momentum, but this candlestick hasn't closed yet. So truth is, you're probably better off waiting because this coin may not pull back. But it does look like it wants to come down to potentially fill this gap. And keep in mind, this fair value gap is an area in which the price action might come down to bounce, okay? In other words, when we take a look at Elliott Wave, for example, it's common for the price to retrace down to 0.5, 0.618. Those are like the most common retracement levels. We can see those here reflected on the chart. So to me, I would anticipate the price to, kind of work its way in here, possibly come on down, and then try to come back up. Something along those lines would make sense. Again, I'll post this on my playout charts here, just so you can kind of see that is available on my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. They look a little something like this, where I kind of provide you with, just an update after I review a coin, so kind of quick perspective of what's going on. But again, 0.5, that's a very, very common area for the price to pull back to. So it may not happen right away, but I think it's inevitable for us to get that to happen in the relative near future. Okay? So all the more reason to just be careful and cautious with your trades. Again, the 4 hours telling us a scenario here in which the price is overextended. We're also at a 9 on TD sequential. It really just implies we've had 36 straight hours of continuation. The price action is what? Let's see here how much that is. Ever since this price got a reset, it's up 91% in the last 36 hours. That doesn't even include the full overextension up to that 9 there. So the likelihood of this price pulling back is greater now, just based on overextension, fair value there. Elliott Wave is anticipating a pullback as well. And the truth is, even though we're truly bullish in a lot of time frames, these areas here are points of contention. So just kind of recognize, with us being rejected here at this level, 12.5, that's a previous resistance that we saw on, I believe, the monthly. This is a previous resistance on the weekly, so that could work as a support. So the price pulls back, we may only see a bounce off 0.382 at 1050 and rise up. Okay, so there's multiple scenarios, of course, that could play out. There's always multiple scenarios, but the statistical probability of the price action pulling back in the relative near future is higher than it is to continue going higher from now. There isn't a ton of liquidity here yet either way. With that doji candle here on the 9th 4-hour candle, that leads me to believe we're going to see a pullback to possibly at least fill part of this fair value. Okay? Let's take a look at the hourly and see where we're at with the good old-fashioned Ichimoku cloud. This is my favorite indicator on the hourly. We can see here that it does tell us not to take a short position into this trade just yet, mainly because conversion line is above the baseline, tons of momentum, lagging span is free and clear. So it's technically a little premature to get into a trade just yet. Okay? So again, if this lagging span intersects with the price action, then it's time to do that. Again, that would require the price to go kind of sideways here. So the price does go sideways for 12 more hours roughly. So this time tonight, the price action is still in the same 1250 or lower, then it would be a good consideration to consider shorting. Again, consideration, reevaluate at the time, but for the situation that we're in right now, it would make a ton of sense for the price to pull back here soon. So again, that's kind of where we're at, but I would wait for confirmation, and to me, this is telling us to not consider a short just yet, and I'm going to side with that for the moment, even though the 4-hour does look juicy and ready for a pullback. It may not happen right away. We may see one more candle wick up before it pulls back. Okay. Again, these market movers are very, very mischievous. They'll wick up 1 or 2 extra times when you think that it's totally fully overextended, and just continue to wreck a lot of shorts. So be mindful of that. We could see one more candle wick up to sweep that upper liquidity there and then pull back at that point. So to me, I'm going to set my alert here for close to 14, reevaluate if I get that trigger, and see if it's worth considering a short at that point. Yeah. Right now, I think it's a little premature, even though we have a lot of validation as to why the price should pull back. It's just a matter of when. Okay. Hope that makes sense for you. I'll go ahead and post this again here on our playout charts on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Links down below if you're curious about how that works, or you want to become part of our community. CryptoCash.tech is a site. We do have limited spots available. Please be sure to check that out. And I look forward to working with you. We have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.